Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit that notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Hey, today I want to talk about these banks and kind of touch on why a lot of our people haven't trusted banks for years. And we know the problem is that we need banks for the most part because when we make money, we got to put our money somewhere. You can't put it in a mattress. You know what I'm saying? Can't bury it in the backyard because of the way the inflation rates are, especially now, especially this year. I mean, they're ridiculous. Normally they say the dollar lose 7% of its value, 3% of its value, like every year. Lose 3% of its value every year. And now the way inflation is, and gas prices and food prices, and hell, the price of everything is up. The dollar is like closer to being worthless than it's ever been. So we need banks now. I would recommend getting a credit union. I know they're not kind of small and not as vast. You don't have a whole lot of ATM machines you can go do and stuff like that, which could be a good thing. It could help you, help you save money, kind of keep you disciplined, make you stay focused on the goal at hand. But but the deals with credit unions are better, interest rates are better, especially on like houses and cars and other kind of loans you want to get compared to banks, credit cards, or even getting a finance through the dealership or whatever. You also can go to like investment accounts, like investment banks, like Fidelity. You got to have a certain amount of money or be tied with a certain company. Like, if you got a job and you get a 401k through your job, you can get an account through Fidelity, and you can open up another account through Fidelity because you already have one account with Fidelity, so you can open up multiple accounts with them. But sometimes with them investment accounts, if you're just coming off the street, they gotta have like a certain amount of money. But anyway, like I said, I want to talk about these banks because it's a couple of stories here. One about the CEOs of these like 5 major banks, I believe, promised so much money to the black community a couple of years ago, and now they're trying to see, where's all the money gone. And then you have an article also I want to touch on about Wells Fargo and their deceptive hiring practices or interviewing practices, because they ain't hired no one. But anyway, I want to go to blackenterprise.com, and this article is entitled Wall Street CEOs Promise Billions to Help Black Americans After George Floyd's Death. Here's where that money went to. And this came out a couple of days ago. So and it states that after the death of George Floyd in May of 2020, the CEOs of JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citi, and others promised more than $30 billion to black banks to make the U.S. economy more equitable for black Americans. 2 years later, Business Insider talked to several black banks to see if those CEOs came through on those promises. There's a black bank, what's it called? The Black Wall Street, Greenwood. I think it's based out of Atlanta. It's like one of the most, well-known black banks out there. But I just want to mention them. They say the CEOs of 5 banks that primarily serve black customers and communities told Insider that money has been significant for them. Now, I wonder, it said that primarily serve black customers, but I'm wondering if they're all owned by, black people, or just black people on the face of the bank, So the money has allowed black banks to acquire customers at faster rates, lend to more black-owned small businesses and entrepreneurs, service more mortgages for black families, and improve their technology and operations in previously unimaginable ways. However, black bank CEOs added that to start closing the racial wealth gap, Wall Street CEOs will need to sustain their investment of capital at their current pace. Say Dominique Majartan, the CEO of Optus Bank, a South Carolina banks, Fargo and J.P. Morgan invested in, said his bank has been able to hire more employees, modernize its digital banking services, and increase its loan amount from $60 million in 2020 to more than $160 million today. That's pretty good. That's real good for for a 2-year span. So he says we were so capital starved and resource starved for decades. Jordan said, "I've never seen anything like this, and it's genuine and it's real." Does he know that for a fact? Is he sure? Because what I'm about to say here in a few minutes may just make that a myth. In the aftermath of Floyd's death and national and worldwide social justice protests, J.P. Morgan committed $30 billion, Citi committed $1.1 billion, and Bank of America $1.25 billion. The commitments aren't grants, but equity stakes, meaning the banks will profit from their commitment. So see, how are you going to close the wealth gap if the people who are helping you are making money off of you? You see what I'm saying? Even if they give you a dollar, say, so equity stakes is basically they own part of your bank now. So if you had 100%, so say you own 100% of your bank, and your bank was worth $1, and J.P. Morgan come in and say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get equity stakes in your bank, which means that out of that dollar, we're going to technically purchase or claim 25 cents of your bank. So which means with that 25, so the 25 cent, now your bank is worth $1, but now we're going to give you money so you can have liquid cash. Your bank still be the same, but now you got money to spend. So whether you spend it, make money off of it, or whatever, you haven't lost anything. You really hadn't lost anything. But when you make money off of your people that you're giving loans to, whether business loans or home loans or what have you, charging banking fees, for every dollar that you make now, I get 25 cents, up until who knows how long this deal lasts. You see what I'm saying? So if I give you $1 billion and I'm making 10 cents off of every dollar, that's, what is that? I'm not a man. I don't know. I ain't got no calculator, but that's at least 10% off a billion is what? That 100 million? I think so. So I'm gonna make money off of you regardless. You're gonna make your little money, but I'm gonna make my money too. So again, how's it gonna help close the racial wealth gap? Because they're gonna get their money back, plus they're gonna make a return on their investment, so they can use their money to help fund the big businesses, the non-black businesses and bankers that they've already been helping off of pretty much poor people and or black people's money in the past. So I mean, yes, it's helping our community. Don't get me wrong, but again, the closing that racial wealth gap, this in no way, shape, or form is going to help. I mean, if I'm wrong, you just let me know. I'm no financial professor. I don't have a PhD in finance or anything, and didn't go to school for finance. But I mean, some things are just, plain to see. It's in addition to money from banks, black celebrities, companies, and organizations have also committed millions to help small black business owners, and entrepreneurs to get access to credit, technical assistance, and advice on how to scale out. Janine Jacobs, the CEO of the Community Development Bankers Association, said black-owned and black-serving banks, as well as credit unions, believe they are getting the attention and money they deserve after decades of being underfunded. The investment made by bank CEOs in 2020 have led to an increase in the number of black Americans in the banking system, and also keep thousands of black Americans from turning to payday loans and cash advance loans, which carry sky-high interest rates. and are seen as predatory, and they are. I mean, them things are just ridiculous, man. It's like they should be outlawed. I don't care. It done made it better to where some of these fees are knocked out. But you got some of these payday loans where their fees are like 600%. So they had to find a way to get rid of the quote unquote percentage and just call it fees. Refiler fees, selling fees, all this kind of stuff. To where if you come in there paying the minimum balance every week or what have you, you'll never get out of that. And we're talking about you might get like a couple $100 loans, end up paying like $1,000, $1,500 back on a loan that you just needed right then and there because the car broke down, need some emergency groceries or something like that. So, like I said, I mean, it's good that the banks are giving money and they're helping the community. I mean, but it's helping, people get loans, and loans, when you pay loans back, you're paying interest back. I mean, so the cycle still continues, but it's going to be a slow process. It's not going to be anything overnight because hell, it's been 400 years at least around about that they've been doing this, been holding non-white people back for the majority of time. Now they're just, still, they heal. Know how what Malcolm X said, they stab you in the back with a 9-inch knife or pull a blade out 6 inches or 3 inches. You still got 6 inches of blade in your back. Okay, well now they pulled out another 3 inches, and you got still got 3 inches in your back. Hell, they may have even pulled a knife completely out, but they've ain't sold you up yet, or they only put like two or three stitches, and you need about 100. But anyway, so I brought that, and then I'm gonna segue to this. Speaking of Wells Fargo, it says ex-Wells Fargo execs say the company held fake interviews with women and people for jobs already filled to inflate its diversity efforts. Now, you may be thinking, why would Wells Fargo do something like this? They don't need to do this, man. I mean, I don't believe they would do something like this. But you gotta remember now, you're at a time where politics, people are starting to get real smart about politicians and politics now. Thanks to the internet, thanks to grassroots news from certain, from our community and probably other communities too. You don't have to rely on the big three news companies now to bring the news. Now everybody can get the information, get the news, and they can get it out there. Somebody finds something out there, somebody finds something out, it don't have to be suppressed. It can't be suppressed because somebody's going to put it out. So you have this. So when you talk about politics, and so now they got to try to look good in front of people. The people that they need to vote for them, the votes that they need. So they gotta do things to make it seem like everybody's included, diversity, if you will. So what they'll tell you is, so like, let's say like the NFL, I think it was a big story not too long ago. I think it was the Miami Dolphins, I believe, or somebody, they act like they're going to interview this brother for a position, but come to find out they had already hired a white guy, and I think it was Bill Belichick or somebody from New England who kind of put it out there on a text message or a tweet in the world, you know what I'm saying? It was like, and he tweeted the wrong person. I think he tweeted the black dude, was going to tweet the white guy, something like that, and it got out. But they kind of swept it under the rug, like pretty quick, like amazingly. They didn't make a big story out of that. It's amazing what people focus on when they do these stories. But you see something like that, that's like wrong. People have been saying that, NFL, is racist and things of that nature. Did Colin Kaepernick wrong and been doing, but I mean, hell, how long it took them to get, to make quarterbacks, allow black people to be quarterbacks on a consistent basis. Only when they knew they can play. Only when they knew they can. They already knew they can play. Only when they found out that they can make money off of these black quarterbacks, and it's an exciting game and bringing more fans to the stands. or what have you, and you're making your people happy, so they're like, sure, yeah, you can bring them in. But like I said, people don't want to believe. They want to believe that was happening, or was anything wrong with what they're doing, which is not. I mean, if you're a private business, you can do what the heck you want to. I ain't knocking. Just as they say, you know what I'm saying? Keep that same energy when it flips around. That's all I'm saying. So with Wells Fargo, the same thing. You gotta, they part of the, big money, politics, trying to run the world, keep the world running, the system running the way it is. So you gotta make sure you still keep those people, them lowly people that you may call them. You still gotta, appease them. Give them butter biscuits. Put that carrot out there and dangle it. So they're not gonna say that you have to hire a certain amount of non-white people. You just gotta interview, a certain amount of people, of minorities, as they would say. You just gotta interview, show that you're interviewing and that you're interested. And if they're a candidate, I'm sure you'll make the right decision in the hiring, right? But the thing is, hell, they ain't hired them up until now, so you ain't making them hire. There's too many stories out there where people with supposedly ethnic names, go to interviews or turn an application in. They have all the credentials in the world and never get a call, but then they turn in a fake resume, same credentials, just change the name, and they get calls like before, before they even hit send on the email or what have you, or even hit send on the submit on the application. So I mean, it's like it ain't nothing new, ain't nothing changed, and they keep trying to play you like crazy, but eventually, man, people gonna get mad at that. But anyway, let me get in this story. So this is on the Business Insider link. I'm gonna put a link in the description box, and it says that Wells Fargo employees held fake news interviews with diverse job candidates in order to boost diversity numbers. The New York Times' Emily Flitter reported on Thursday. 7 current and former employees, including one former executive, told the Times that they were instructed to interview women and people of color for roles that had already been filled. These efforts, they said, appeared to be a way to show a record of diversity efforts rather than actually hire diverse candidates. 3 current Wells Fargo employees told the Times that the fake interviews had been conducted as recently as this year, 2022. Joe Bruno, an executive in Wells Fargo's wealth management division, up until last August, told the Times that when he complained to his bosses about the fake interviews, which he said were inappropriate, morally wrong, ethically wrong, his claims were dismissed and he was ultimately fired. He said he was dismissed in retaliation for raising his concerns, while Wells Fargo told the Times he was let go because he retaliated against a colleague. Amazing. The Wells Fargo spokesperson told Insider in a statement that the company investigated the Times' claims and, quote, could not corroborate the claims as factual. Of course they could. Of course it could. You think they would? I mean, seriously, they probably did an internal investigation. And you know how internal investigations go. Just ask the police. At the same time, we take the nature of the allegations in the story seriously, and as a company, we do not tolerate the type of conduct alleged, the spokesperson said. We will continue our internal review, and if we find evidence of inappropriate behavior or shortcomings in our guidelines or their implementations, we will take the decisive action. So do you really think they're going to find anything done wrong? Like, seriously? Come on now. These people got money. These people control the world. They can find whatever they want to, and they can hire whatever they want to. They said the bank has undergone a significant leadership change over the past year under CEO Charlie Scharf, who joined in 2019. Scharf is the third CEO to take the helm since 2016, when a scandal erupted after the bank was revealed to have opened millions of fraudulent accounts without customers knowing about it. So you think they won't do fraudulent interviews without interviewees knowing about it? You have got to be fooling yourself. Wells has since faced billions in fines and overhauled his leadership, including revamping its reporting structure in early 2020 and adding nearly 90 senior hires over the past 3 years. Now you can hire, you can do senior hires, but you ain't did no super duper diverse hires, huh? But the latest report isn't the first time the bank has landed in hot water over its treatment of people of color. In 2013, Wells faced a racial discrimination lawsuit, which later settled, and in August of 2020, Wells agreed to pay roughly $8 million in back wages after the bank had discriminated against black job applicants. So again, you're talking about a bank, so I don't see how in the world this bank is still open. I'm surprised feds ain't took this bank over and just pretty much shut it down. Following the murder of George Floyd in June, that was May, George Floyd in June of 2020 and the protests that followed, Scharf wrote in a company-wide memo that while the bank would like to hire more people of color, quote, the unfortunate reality is that there is a very limited pool of black talent to recruit from. His comments, which he reiterated during a Zoom meeting with employees that summer, angered some employees, and Scharf issued an apology. So, the bank later adopted a formal policy requiring a diverse roster of applicants to be interviewed for all roles that pay over $100,000 a year. So, like I said, you can interview all the Negroes you want, but don't mean you're gonna hire them, because he believes, as he stated, there are not enough people. There's not enough people, non-white people, black people, not enough of them to fill these roles. Not enough applicants. But my thing is, if you get one, shouldn't you hire them if they got the credentials? If you get two, shouldn't you hire them if they got the credentials? If you don't have enough people, if you don't have enough of a diverse group that you can hire, interview and or hire, and it's really a concern of yours, wouldn't you think that you would maybe put some money, set aside some money to where you could actually get out there and learn how to recruit, to teach these people how to become bankers, give out scholarships or grants or something to, low income, to the diverse group of people that you say that you're going to help? Wouldn't you do something to help bring people in? I mean, you got all the money in the world. I mean, hell, you're a bank. So why can't you go out there and train people to be able to work for you on a full-time basis? It makes no sense. That's if you're really concerned about it, which lets you know they're not really concerned about us as a people or anything. So I wouldn't like hold my breath. I always feel like you can't wait on other people to help you. You can't change people's mind. You can't make people feel a certain way about you, and you can only make people do something that they don't want to do, but you can only do it for so long and only take it so far before they actually like turn on you. And then once that happens, there's no telling, nothing good. Well, nothing good can come out of that. So you have to be smart, because people, they want to keep their relationships going, the business relationships going, because everybody want to keep making, the same people up top want to keep making that money. So they got to keep their relationships going. So I'm sure they're working in cahoots. It's not like the powers that be are like, look at here, Mr. Wells Fargo Senior, I don't like what you're doing. If you don't change your practices, we're going to shut you down. Hell no. They're going to be like, hey, look here, homie, what you doing? They found out. You done got caught. So what I'm gonna say is we're gonna have to figure out a way to change up what you're doing. Well, not necessarily change it up, but kind of we gotta figure out another way to help you do what you're already doing. We gotta find a way to cover it up, make it look good to the people, so we can continue this relationship. And that's all it is, man. So like I was saying, man, like I said, we can't trust these banks completely, but like I say, we need them. It's good if we can go to the black banks, like I said, or the credit unions, or what have you. Put your money there. Put your money with people that, I mean, you have to trust. You have to eventually trust your own people. I mean, we sit there and talk all this, pro-blackness and support black businesses and black banks and all that kind of stuff, but you really have to do it. Really gotta get out there and do it. You know what I'm saying? Can't talk it and then don't walk it, because it ain't helping nobody. All you doing is just making yourself feel good for that moment, and you're going back to your miserable world and want to know how come the powers that be still sitting there waiting for a handout from the powers that be when they ain't handed you nothing up until now. They ain't handed you really what you need to be comfortable to this point. So why you think they're gonna start now? But anyway, that's all I got for this one. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. Like the video, comment below, and then share it to the world. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.